Hello, hello. It's me, your femboy. Haven't done one of these in ages. I'm so sorry. I figured that since my last makeup tutorial is not only like a year old at this point, but also is super duper outdated, let's do another one. I think that would be fun, especially because I have added a lot to my makeup since then. An upgrade is needed. Like, cause speaking of upgrades, I have falsies now, here, and there too, you know? New look, new tutorial. I feel like that's fair. But anyway, let's not dilly-dally. Let's just go straight to it, right? Like, I hate waiting. You probably do too. So, yeah, let's skedaddle. All right, so I would say before you even start anything, make sure your face is all nice and washed. No makeup yuckiness anywhere, no residue. Make sure you are nice and clean and all ready to go. Also, it really helps to tie your hair back as well. Something I've had to learn due to the fact I haven't really had long hair since recently. Tying your hair back is very, very important. So that way you don't get like strands that stick to your face. And then if you put makeup over those, like yikes, now that is bleh. If you have the money to get a hair clip, you totally should. Like, I've fallen in love with them since I've grown my hair out, and like, hey, they come with some pretty cute designs, so I am a big fan. You ready for step number one? We're gonna start off with foundation. Foundation to me is very important just because I feel like it just makes me feel prettier. You don't need it, absolutely not. But for me, I love how smooth and porcelain and like doll-like almost it makes my skin. And I don't know, it makes me feel prettier. I like having that almost, like I said, an almost doll-like appearance. So as smooth as my face can get, that's what I prefer. So I prefer usually also full coverage foundations, but this one is a buildable coverage. So if you don't want it super heavy and like bleh on you, this could be a good pick rather than one I did for my previous tutorial. So the foundation I'm going to use today is a one from Maybelline. You could literally get this from like CVS or even like Meijer or like places like that. So very easy to find if you like the results. So, and honestly not super duper crazy, especially not compared to my last foundation. Like, it is a night and day difference. So if you're on a budget, this one's pretty cool. And like I mentioned a little earlier, it's not full coverage, it's buildable. So you can get it to full coverage, but it doesn't have to be. So I feel like that could be a plus. Also, I would say something that's very important for foundation is makeup sponges. You could use your fingers. I have absolutely done that before too, and that is 100% valid. But at the same time, I just feel like using a sponge helps it apply so much smoother. And sure, I end up using more foundation as a result, but I feel like it's worth it. IMO. Plus, also you could get a lot of cute sponge designs, so that's a big plus. So what I like to do with my foundation is I usually like to blot it, like all over, like just a little dance. Trying to cover every little nook and cranny nice and evenly, get everything coated, and especially my more trouble areas, like the dark under bags of my eyes. Also, I have a big beauty mark on my chin, so I typically like to hide that guy too. So a buildable coverage makes that awesome because I don't have to put coverage on all my face super heavy, but on those areas, like, yeah, I could help bury those guys down. So that's a pretty cool like bonus. And I will say, I don't think you'll always have to blot and do this technique like I do. I just, for some reason, have to kind of do that for this foundation. It's very runny. So I feel like almost like doing more strokes, like how I typically would do, come out no bueno. Like it literally looks disgusting. It looks like streaks, not strokes. And I'm here looking for the strokes. So add streaks in certain places, but blotting, I feel like, at least for this foundation, is what I would 100% recommend. All right, we're on to step two. Let's seal that foundation, baby. I like to use more of a setting powder rather than setting spray. But that being said, there are some amazing setting sprays too. Like Urban Decay makes a chef's kiss one. So absolutely would recommend that one if you're in the market more for sprays. I just noticed specifically if I use a setting powder, especially with like a nice wide brush. Like the one I use, I think is the Kabuki brush from NYX, maybe, or e.l.f. It's one of the two. It just comes off so smooth and flawless looking. It looks airbrushed almost. It looks just so pretty. I guess just like experiment, see what works the best for you. I just really don't like my makeup to be tacky at all or like feel moist. and setting powder just doesn't give me that problem. So that is my personal technique. But like I said, setting sprays, they are totally valid. Once you applied all that foundation and set that foundation, I usually take like a makeup wipe, especially this works perfect if you just wiped your face off recently before you did your makeup, and take like a makeup wipe and just like make sure your lips are all nice and clear. Just because I feel like I always like to do it early on in the process, so that way the foundation doesn't get too dry. In fact, I would almost recommend doing it before you set the foundation if possible. Just so that way your lips can look nice and full and pretty and plump. All right, so now on to something a little different is step number 3, freckles. So I have very faint freckles on my actual skin, but they are basically indistinguishable to the naked eye unless you look really closely, and especially under makeup, like forget about it. But I love the look of freckles. I think they're so cute. So I found a technique that I use that has worked pretty well for me, that typically I feel like comes off looking more natural. And it sounds very weird, but it is a lipstick from Mary Kay. It is, I'm showing I was gonna say flavor, Jesus Christ, I'm so fucking stupid. I'm showing the shade on screen. That's the one for my skin color. You might have to change it just depending on yours. But I find the Mary Kay ones are really good because it sticks really well to your skin and looks very natural on your skin when you use technique as freckles. So what I do is I take a pencil, sharpened but not too sharp. Not sharp enough to, of course, hurt you, because we do not want to hurt that delicate, pretty face. We also, what we want to do is take that pencil, sort of lightly poke it into the lipstick, enough to kind of get like a little dab of it. And then once you've done that, then it's like a little dance. Then you just dot it across the bridge of your nose. I add a teeny tiny bit onto my cheeks and a little bit onto like the sides of my face, but I tend to focus mostly on the nose. You definitely can go crazy with it. It just depends on kind of the style you want. And I just like the little cheeky ones across my little schnoz. So that's typically what I do. Like, I find that this is best freckle technique that I've tried. Like, I've tried Freck before, like the freckle pen, and it didn't come out looking nearly as natural. I have heard from a sweetheart in the comments section a very good other technique, which I will try. And I promise if I do enjoy it, like I haven't tried it yet, but when I do try it, if I like it enough to add to my routine, I will 100% credit you every time I mention it in a makeup tutorial. I pinky promise. All right, so step number 5, we're gonna blush up those cheeks and your nose. Just like that whole little arch of prettiness on your face. Like, especially if this is the area you added your freckles to, the little bit of blush makes them just like really look more natural, at least to me. So I like to go for a bit more of a heavier blush look, just because, you know, a lot of femboys do it, and I do think it's cute. It kind of adds like a little like sultry innocence, I think. So I like the look personally, but you don't have to go as extreme with it. And like my ceiling, my blush is powder. There are liquid blushes out there. I have not found one that isn't like super runny and kind of doesn't blend very well. Like I have unfortunately had very bad experiences with liquid blush. So if y'all have a good recommendation, I would love to hear it, because I don't mind switching up my blush technique. Sure, this one works good, but like I'm sure there's something better I could do. And now comes step number 7, one of my favorite steps and a new addition, which is highlighter. My highlighter is special. It is Kellogg's official Frosted Flakes branded makeup. It's highlighter for your face. It's all glittery. It has this like faint, like silvery gold like tints to it, and it's surprisingly so fucking pretty. And there's so fucking much. I've had this for like over like I feel like a year or 2 years, and I still have so much of it. I love it. It's honestly one of my favorite like prized possessions, especially with makeup. So, and a little bit of it goes such a long way. I'm so happy that I no longer have to use like costume paint for my highlighter. This definitely looks much better, much more natural. Plus, it's like glittery as fuck. So how could I not love it? So typically with my highlighter, I like to target 3 main areas. I like to target the bridge of my nose and the tip, kind of adding that like really pretty shine to it. Same thing with the very tip top of my cheekbones. I like to add them there too. And then the third place is on my eyelids. I like to kind of add some shine on the insides of them and I feel like it makes my eyes look bigger, more glamorous. And I also like to add some shine directly into the middle of the lid. I've seen artists do that for characters sometimes with their highlighting, and I feel like it adds such like an interesting look. It's so like, I don't know, I feel like it's like very much like a vintage kind of style to me. I've tried doing that with my highlighter on my lids and it gives like a very pretty shine to them. So I think that's kind of like a cool little trick too. So definitely give it a try if you're curious. What a coincidence, we're on step 13 because this is the spookiest step, the eyeliner. Eyeliner is both one of my favorite things about makeup and my least favorite because I feel like if I fuck up my wing, it throws off my entire look. All of that time dedicated to making the rest of my look as pretty as possible goes down the drain. And it's just such a yucky feeling. I know you could technically just wipe it off, but then your foundation is fucky after that. And if you have to do it more than once, like at that point, just start over. It's so frustrating. So it's almost like, I feel like it has to be perfect every time. This is coming from somebody with shaky as fuck hands. So I am trying my absolute darndest, but I love to do wings. For my technique, it's not the best, but I would just say a good bit of advice I've heard is just follow just the lines of your eyes. Like follow and arch them in a way that's just a clean continuation from the line and arch of your bottom lid. That's kind of how I start. I definitely do it probably more bold than most people would want to. I guess I'm just like a fruity fuck like that, maybe. The technique definitely helps, and I feel like it might help you too. I know it's difficult to kind of give advice sometimes for eye makeup just because eye shapes are so different. Like my eyes are shaped like almonds. Essentially, I have almond shaped eyes, which is one of the many reasons Charlie Kelly would hate me. And honestly, I'll say even straight up as someone who I am generally very happy with my makeup, I fuck up my eyeliner so much. And you shouldn't feel bad about it. If I like angle it in a weird way, or if I maybe like accidentally add a line too thick somewhere, I just try to make it as balanced as possible and just almost embrace the artsiness of it. Like, I feel like that's just honestly more constructive than just like trying to smudge it all off with makeup wipes and not only having to start over, but also like IMO. It's so much more of a hassle. So that's just my advice at the very least. So yeah, but honestly, fuck eyeliner, man. Why is it so fucking hard? Jesus Christ. All right, so rounding out our 20-step makeup tutorial, going to be the falsies, my fake eyelashes. This is another new step and one I am still trying to also learn. It is very new to me, the world of falsies. I am just trying my best. And it's tricky too because like I was mentioning earlier, I have almond shaped eyes. And fake eyelashes typically very uniform in size where you almost have to modify them yourself to make them fit properly. So it's a bit of a struggle sometimes. It's a hassle, but they look so fucking pretty when they do come out perfect. They give you big glamorous, like, God, I feel like a fucking Barbie when I have my falsies and like my wig on. Like I feel like I feel so fucking gorgeous. And so I definitely would recommend it, especially if you like your eyes to really pop, because they really help with that too. Basically, the way I do it is I get like a lash adhesive. The one I have right now is messy as fuck, so I'm sorry about that. The lash adhesive, essentially, you just add a little bit to the line of your false eyelashes. You wait around like 30 seconds-ish until it gets kind of tacky, and then that's when you apply as gently as possible to your lid. I know that they come with like little clampy clamp things for it, but I'm a fucking idiot and lost them on the first day I got them. So, who's surprised though? Honestly, I usually just try my hardest to just be careful. Anyway, which is also kind of hard when you have like long ass acrylics like I tend to have. If you think like taking out your contacts with like long cunty acrylics is hard, like gosh, try putting on falsies with your fingers like that. Like yeesh, like my poor eyes, like Jesus Christ. At this point, they're probably scared of anything remotely finger-like. I would not be surprised. And you did it. Congratulations. I'm proud of you, love. I know this video is a little teeny tiny. It's a little guy. I just figured that I really wanted to put out an update because, you know, literally it's been a year since I've done my last makeup tutorial, and my looks now are so much different than then. It's so much different than that, and very much different than that. So I figure it's a thing where as my looks evolve, I feel like my tutorials should evolve too. I just feel like that makes sense. In my tiny little pea-sized brain, that makes sense. It's like, new year, new makeup tutorial, baby. I love y'all so much. You literally like make my day every single time I see a comment or I see a video doing like pretty decent. Like, it's like, man, y'all like me. It makes me happy. It makes me a giggly mess. So thank you. I love you. I love you, and I want to rub you too.